And welcome back into the Creatively Connected podcast. We're here with episode 7 with my boy Will Scannell. Thank you for joining us tonight. And so we're going to get straight into it. My boy Will, he goes by the producer tag of Loud Tempo. He's a music producer, sound engineer, jack of all trades here in the city of Nashville, Tennessee. Quick backstory: me and Will grew up together. We've known each other since we were damn near like
7, 8.
Yeah, probably before that. Like knew of each other then
Nice.
Became friends. So and have both kind of emerged into the music scene. So glad to have him as a guest tonight on the Creatively Connected podcast. So go ahead and just tell the listeners who you are and what it is you do and kind of your realm in the music industry.
Well, I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Grew up in Nashville, or a little city outside Nashville called White House.
Yes, sir. Exit 108.
Music producer now. Didn't really get into music till I was like 17, and been just grinding ever since, making connections and just getting it how I can.
Making it happen.
I'm trying to.
He's got credits from a Nashville native himself too, Young Buck. Worked with Billy Ray Cyrus, was in same room, working on songs with him, and many other talented artists in the rap scene, more so here in Nashville. You obviously work in the country scene as well.
Recently.
Yeah, more so recent dive into that, but has a wide variety, EDM as well. Dabbled. I know when you got started, me and Will went to college together as well for a brief stint, and I know you was doing EDM.
Yes,
EDM work.
Yeah. So I mean, when I first got started in it, I was just DJing for at parties, and it was pretty much just EDM shows, which led into other stuff. But yeah, definitely got started in EDM.
How is it like working? You said you do a lot of rap stuff. Just recently got into country. How is it working predominantly in a rap scene in a country music scene like Nashville, where that's the main thing that people think is here?
It's different. I'll say that. It's the same but different. It's just like it's different cultures. So I mean, the business is the same, but I don't know. You approach it different. At least I do. Connections are different. The way you create the music's different. I feel like rap's very fast paced. Country can be, but it's more just like, let's write the song, let's pitch it,
right?
Yeah, get it recorded by whoever. Know. Maybe the artist that wrote it records it, get it mixed, get it mastered. Rap, it's like when I was doing rap, they come in the studio, pay the studio fee. I might show them some beats. They might have beats already. We record the song, maybe record like 6, depending on how much time they get and how fast we're moving. But it's like, if I don't have that song mixed by the end, and this, we're working with smaller like artists, like more local artists, local. It's just like, you better have that mix done before they leave the studio, because whatever you send them, they're going to put out.
Yeah.
You can't, that's
the final mix. Regardless.
Yeah, there is no rough mixes. And how my approach was on it was like, I got to get quick at this, because whatever they put out, that's like my branding behind it too, because they're going to say produced by Loud Tempo.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't just send them a half-assed mix.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just, rap is a lot more fast-paced. It moves very, very quick in the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like country can be fast-paced, but it's really not compared to rap. Rap is just so quick.
Yeah.
It's just like now. So
I've learned that, like, I've not been on many tours I've been on like 2 or 3 with rap artists.
Right.
And opposed to like many with, various, show runs or tours with country artists, and it's completely different. It's like, one, they have it's fast paced, like you're saying, but they have an entourage of 15 or 20 plus, and it's like,
I have nothing to do with
what's going on. They're just homies, people they grew up with, and it's like,
it's a vibe.
It is definitely a lot more fast paced and just energy wise, and whereas opposed to like country, it's, I mean, you with recording, but like touring too, it's a lot more, I guess you could say, chiller and slower paced too. Yeah. So you got into music while you were in college, correct?
Right before.
Right before, yeah. So touch on that a little bit. Like how did you first dive into the music industry and find out that passion for, being a music producer?
I feel like I was so late. In high school, I was a sports dude. Sports year round. Whatever sport was during that season, I was playing. And
hell of a linebacker too, in case you
appreciate
didn't know.
Appreciate it.
We'll have to pull the huddle link.
Yeah,
right?
We have to drop it. But yeah, it was just in my crib. I was big into on some nerdy stuff. I was big into like gaming, computer gaming, and I was building my own computer. And once I had that built, I was downloading all these video games, and it's so crazy. I hope the feds ain't watching, but I was illegally downloading these video games because I couldn't afford it. I was in high school, and on this site, there was a link at the top that said FL Studio. I thought it was a video game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to download that, just add it to
play
it.
This
it had great ratings, I was like, let me go ahead and download that. So I downloaded it, and it sat on I opened it right when I got it, but I didn't know what was going on, and it sat on my computer for a good while.
So when you opened it, did you think you was going into a video game then still?
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately thought it was a video game, and when I opened it, I was like, this is left field. I don't know what this is, but I never deleted it.
Yeah.
So it sat on my computer for a while, probably a couple months, and this is around the time. This is like 2015. This is around the time when like Future and Metro and DJ Esco was going so crazy. Young Thug, they were going so crazy. They were dropping these crazy rap projects, and everyone in high school was bumping them. And I was on YouTube one day, and I came across this video of Metro Boomin cooking up.
Yeah.
And it like showed his screen, and I was like, "Dang, bro, I have that software. That's crazy." So
that video game.
Yeah, that video game. So pulled it back up, started diving in, started learning on YouTube how it worked, whatever, and just made a lot of crappy music for like a whole year, and just kind of learned to love it. Like hit me to left field.
Yeah.
Like did not think about it. It was it turned into a video game, honestly.
Right.
Just creating stuff.
Just playing, mixing with different joysticks and
it was like playing
buttons
like
and
Zoo Tycoon or something, building your zoo up. Like it was just building stuff. And so I got into it like that, and had the software, and then I learned to love music so late, honestly. Because before that, like I'd listen to music, but there was no just like I love music.
Right.
It was just a thing that you did before a football game or whatever.
Yeah. Touch on how you like when you got into it. Obviously, you was learning through FL Studio, like you were still in high school. Touch on how you transitioned into like doing that, and obviously, I know just from knowing you, like he has a really cool story of turning a certain room into the house into the studio. So yeah, touch on that a little bit.
So I had my little setup. Real cheap, Focusrite. Everyone knows Focusrite is if you're a producer. Had Focusrite, had these Mackie speakers, or little 5-inch speakers. I was just making beats. I ain't have a mic yet at this point.
Yeah.
And got to college, joined a fraternity, still had the software. Started going to these college parties, and I realized that we didn't have a DJ. It was just
somebody on
Aux.
Jerry on Aux
and I was
tonight.
like, bro, I know what will go crazy in here. So I was able to convince them to let me DJ. I bought a DJ board. Did not know how to DJ at all at first, And started DJing parties, and I started to really feel like at least where I was at, what people were really liked. And we were turning living rooms into nightclubs.
Yeah, I had some lit parties back in
wild,
the day.
Bro. And it was just like getting that high of just like, wow, this is how music makes people move, and I'm in control of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because you're the one that's in full control of everybody's emotion and vibe that they're feeling throughout the whole night.
I could ruin the party, or I could turn the party.
Yeah, because if you've been at a college party or any bar or anything.
The DJ is the tone setter. A bad DJ can ruin it.
Yeah. Even if you play a good song but mix it in a bad way, it's like, okay, you kind of just fucked up the whole vibe for everybody. So
I was DJing. And then these college parties that people want EDM music. And I'd listen to EDM music, but I wasn't too much into it at the time. I was more just like rap music.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a couple opportunities to DJ some EDM shows. So the first show, I ain't gonna lie, I was so nervous that I pre-recorded the whole thing. Like I put it up on studio, I mixed the songs together.
Okay.
I got on stage, I just pressed play, and I act like I was mixing. I ain't gonna lie. But that was the first show ever. Like
if you're a DJ and you've done that, hit the comments right now because I know there's more out there.
I had to because I was so nervous. But
no, it's normal.
After the first show, I was like, damn, like there were some songs I wanted to play, but I couldn't because I just didn't think there. Yeah. So I had the opportunity to do it again, and that time I live DJ'd, and it was just it was crazy. And then I got into like producing EDM music, like my own stuff, so I could play at these shows. And I went on a run pretty much throughout my college career. The little 2 years I was there I started getting shows in like Indiana. I had a couple shows in Arkansas. Yeah. And I just started doing EDM shows. But when college came to an end, I wasn't a major in anything. I was undeclared taking gen eds, but I was running out of gen ed classes to take. And I came to a point where I was like, man, I ain't trying to do this no more. So came across a school called SAE in Nashville, music school. I was like, well, if I don't get nothing out of this, at least buy me some time. Yeah. So
still in the industry, still making connections.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anyone in music. Like at this point, I still can't play an instrument. You know? And I'm not even really recording anybody except like the homies.
Just had a passion for it, and knew you wanted to dive into some aspect of it.
So I landed, just to go further on the story, I landed in SAE. I was there about a month, and my sister was dating this dude at the time named Josh, and he had been in music production a while back. He did it just kind of like for fun, and he saw me doing it one day at the house, and he was like, "Bro, you need to get in contact with my boy." He was like, he got stuff popping in Nashville. I was like, bet, I'll send him a DM. I didn't know. I was so green to this stuff. Yeah. So I sent him a DM. Yo, I go to music school. I get free studio time. You know, I would love the link. Right. And he responded. He was like, bet, I'll pull up on you. So I got in the studio with him, played him some beats. He's like, yo, this is dope. He's like, I got this artist. I'm going to bring him up here. You should show him some of the stuff. He might be a good art. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I ain't never really had someone. And that leads into a whole nother story. This is kind of taking the story so forward, but might as well just roll with it. Yeah, might as well roll with it. So he brought this artist. His name was, at the time, his artist name was Kid from the Six. And so we kicked in the studio. I don't even think we made a song. I think I just showed him beats and we just hung out. Good vibes, yeah. Good vibes. And man, did that opportunity turn into like, that set the tone for my entire lead up to this point because, like I said, I didn't know nobody. Yeah. I don't have no songs. Yeah. No one knows who I am, what I do, yada, yada. And just meeting this one person, man, it excelled so much because it turned into so many opportunities. Yeah. Bro.
It's crazy how meeting just like, you can know everybody in a city that you're in, but if you get in the right room with the right person, you meet one person, it's like everything. That can change the whole trajectory of your path, your career.
You just don't know who it's going to be. Yeah. That's why it's like you can't downplay nobody.
Could be the dude that you run into at the bar on 100%. Monday through Friday night.
Yeah, what's crazy, it probably is that dude you run into at the bar.
Yeah. Or the one that you're like overlooking, like, oh, who is this guy that kind of looks outcast, you know, just he stands out a little bit. It's like, that could be your next connection. Well, that could be the lead in.
Well, that dude, just to go further on the story, that dude, I was just kicking it with him for a whole year because he's the only person I knew in music besides the people I was going to music school with. But they were on similar stuff that I was on. They were just trying to figure it out. So literally, I was just kicking it with this dude. We'd go to events. We'd hang out. Might show him some music, whatever. Well, it turned into like, not to go too far in the story, it turned into an opportunity a month later. 21 Savage and Post Malone were coming to town. It was around 2018.
I remember that.
It was right when Rockstar came out. Yeah. And they were touring together. And I was a big 21 fan at the time. And the dude's manager turned it out. And I learned all this so late, bro. I was so green. The dude's manager was managing also 21 or Young Nudie. Yeah. Who's in the group. His cousin named P.D. Escobar. And he's like, man, they're coming to town. We should go link with them. I'm like, oh, let's do it. And so yeah, they came to town, bro. They allowed me to go hang out with them. I got to go on the tour bus. It was also real because I was a couple months into this.
Yeah.
Still ain't even recorded a song, really.
Right.
And I'm chilling, experiencing this crazy experience that people probably
experience of a lifetime.
It set the tone, man. And they were so genuine. Like they were very accepting. Just let me chill, whatever. Got to experience that whole thing, and yeah, bro. You go even further. So that happened. I was like, that's crazy. Kept hanging out with dude for like a whole year, just kicking it. And then one day he randomly texted me. He's like, bro, you should come to my family's old studio and engineer a song. We ain't got engineers here. It's been closed for 20 years. Yeah. We just reopened it. There's no engineers here. We're renovating it. I'm like, man, I'll come, So it's out in Mount Juliet. So I drove all the way out there. It was a late night. And I pull up. And it's just this brick building, super big. And I was like, where am I?
I thought that too. You was talking about.
I thought it was a church. I was like, what is this? I walk in, bro, and it was the craziest studio I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, at that moment, I was like, bro, who are you? I've known you for like a whole year, and I know you as your artist name. I don't even.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just meeting, I know who you're talking about. So meeting him first time, it's like, who are you? Like, he's just got an energy about him.
He's not the type of person to brag or boast or nothing. Like
no.
He's grew up around it, so he's
But he's just high energy, great people.
Like he was just, it was so genuine,
Yeah.
And it turned out to be this dude named John Bradley, and the Bradleys pretty much did their thing in Nashville. Yeah. You can look up the history.
Look them up. You'll definitely find the info.
They pretty much started it all, to be honest.
If you go to Music Row, there's a statue.
There's an Owen Bradley statue.
Yeah, the guy, he's like holding up microphone or something.
They started RCA. They did all this big, massive stuff in country music.
Yeah.
And he happens to be the great grandson of it. And it was just like an opportunity of a lifetime that just came so left field.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I know my skill didn't get there. It was just being a good hang,
It's where hard work and preparation meets,
And then that opportunity, he gave me my first studio job, and he introduced me to so many people, and as time went on, I got some skills up under me, and that was the tone.
That was the breakthrough right there.
It was just so crazy.
I remember that because that was at the time you was jump starting, kick starting your career, and I was just picking up a camera, and I remember seeing all of your like the 21 Savage stuff. Like I remember seeing that night on your Snapchat story, and I was like, "Damn, this dude made it! Like, this dude, he's out here with 21 on the tour bus." Like, you posted that behind the scenes clip, and I was like,
"That was just
okay."
It was just a crazy moment.
Yeah,
nothing. At least that experience came out of it, but as far as like seeing it, I was like, okay, I've seen the top behind the scenes.
Yeah. It's like when you're put in a room and your feet are standing there, like for that instance, you're on the tour bus, 21 Savage. It's like, if you're there, you're meant to be there. Right. Regardless, you wouldn't be put in any sort of circumstance or room that you're not meant to be in. It's just based on how you react according to that and how you can adapt to that. Because people like you and I were both from grew up in a small town, like something like that. That's absolutely crazy to us. Yeah, like you're like, damn. And a lot of people, 95% of the people, let that moment become way bigger, too big for themselves for the moment, and then it's like, they might butcher that moment. They might say something wrong. They might
get kicked off,
act out of character,
get kicked off the tour bus,
kicked off tour bus, and just like bad rep. Like people like that, they know a lot of people at 21 Savage. You fuck up there, you could be blacklisted from.
Set yourself back so far.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, I was at the time that happened. You got to think I was like 19, 18.
Yeah.
I was
youngin'.
The quiet dude in the room. I was a fly on the wall.
Yeah, just taking it in.
And I got to collab with a producer named Kid Hazel a while back, and he had just got signed to Slaughter Gang. So he felt new too. It was like their second tour date, I think.
Yeah.
So he just got on the tour.
Yeah.
So it was cool to vibe with him because we were kind of in the, we're just
newbie.
Yeah, level. We'll be producers over in the corner kind of thing. And he's did his thing. He's done shout out Kid Hazel. But Yeah, I mean, nothing like physically came of that. It was just the experience was just it was dope, man. It was super dope. And it really set the tone of like my thought process of how to approach things. And yeah, bro, it's stuff like that I feel like is a blessing because even if you don't necessarily gain off it, but mentally it's just like the perspective that they don't even realize it. They were just, I was just a dude in our tour, you know?
Right.
But to me, it was like, bro, this set the tone for everything. Like, it's anything like is possible.
Yeah, and you're just taking in information, seeing how people move. It's like you're getting an encyclopedia, a dictionary in front of you for the route you're going, just all at once. And at that level, it's like if you pay attention, a lot of people would go out and, get wasted or whatever and just not be present, not take it in. But like if you get that opportunity early on and you've never experienced anything like that, it's like be present, take in all those moments, because that one moment, something you learn from that moment, something someone says, that you were just a fly on the wall for could help you out a year or two down the line. Like it's
well, the main thing
a mouthful.
The main thing I took from that situation was like, all right, so this is how the top operates. So going forward, when I would ever link with an artist or see them do something, I'm like, bro, you're not even acting right.
Right.
Like the people at the top don't even be doing this type of stuff.
Yeah, they're not that extra. No. Some of them, but not.
Yeah. And I think I was fortunate enough to get around like the group that they were. Like they were just so chill.
They're just out of the mix until it's damn near showtime.
Yeah, like, they weren't too full of themselves, bro. They're about business. And it was like, all right, so if you're gonna be top of this, you got to be about business. Yeah, like the way they operated and stuff like that. And I was just a sponge. So it kind of molded me going forward. It's like almost though it might have hurt me a little bit because like ignorance is bliss. So when I was working with artists coming up or trying to figure it out themselves and they haven't had a similar experience. Yeah, I mean they don't know how to. They're figuring it out. Yeah. So I'd get frustrated. I'm like, bro, you ain't even acting right. Like, you acting like this, and this dude is doing all this. Right. He would never being chill. Like right. Like, so I mean, there's pros and cons to it, but man, that was such a tone setter that I'm like incredibly grateful for. That happened.
Touch on that a little bit, like working with artists that might be a little too full of themselves. Like, for instance, you say like bigger artists, they're not even like, not to say they're not involved, but that they're not like being extra and stuff. Like working with these smaller artists, and you do a lot of the rap scene, kind of run-ins with that and what that's like balancing, and keeping a professional, workflow in that process.
I think when artists start to get full of themselves, man, it comes down to their personality. Some people I feel like are naturals at it, and I feel like some people they gotta learn a few more things before they get to the level that they want to get. And
sure,
it's a lot of people get selfish quick, and people that are selfish like to not take accountability for stuff. And I feel like a lot of upcoming artists, it's like, I got this person, I got these many views, I got this going on, I got all this. But it's almost like they get drunk on it. Yeah. It's like they lose, like, bro, you ain't the same person you were 2 months ago. Yeah. Like, get excited about it. Let's take this and amp it up. Yeah. But like, don't lose focus. Sure. And a lot of people, because a lot of artists don't realize it's like, you have an expiration date. Unless you're constantly reinventing yourself, like as soon as you have that hit,
you better ride that wave.
You better ride it, or you better have a plan after it, because now you just set your expiration date. Yeah. Because now the world knows you. Yeah. And people move on.
You see that a lot in the TikTok world.
Yeah, people move on quick. Especially if you're just doing the same thing. Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, it just depends on the person, man. Like I've met some people that are super dope, and I've met some people it's like, man, it's not my vibe. Yeah. Like yeah, I personally don't think you're doing right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get over here.
Shy away a little bit.
At this point, bro, everyone grown, bro. Like I feel I'm a firm believer. After 21, 99% of the time you are who you are. Like people can change, but like
how much do you actually change?
Yeah, like
the people that know you can see it.
Yeah, like you just kind of are who you are. So, and sometimes you learn that too late about people, and that sucks. But I don't know, bro. It's such a gamble because when you work with a smaller artist and stuff does work out and stuff gets rolling, you're taking a gamble. It's like, all right, is this dude gonna start acting like this, or is it's gonna start acting like this? You don't know, because I've seen people get quote unquote clout, and it's just like you don't know how they're gonna act, because no, it's not a normal thing that people get.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you can't,
when you give someone that hasn't had anything before everything and all these eyes,
it's just like, I mean, they say it like it exposes who they really are, but I'm also a firm believer, like, bro, you don't know. You can see some signs and stuff, but you really don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I've met some big artists that are not, in my opinion, good people, but I've also met some big artists that are like, bro, this dude's cool as hell.
Yeah.
But then again, that could be my personality vibing with
everybody.
So you just, it's such a weird dynamic, bro. But man, it's crazy how someone will just get all of a sudden this, and they just start moving this way, and it's just like, you can't predict that stuff, bro. It's a drug, bro. The clout stuff is such a drug. The people that really, I feel like, go far on this stuff is like, and like longevity, that are just around for a couple of years. Like they're so mentally aware. Yeah. Or they have people around them to get them mentally aware.
Right. That's the biggest thing, is having people around 100%. You that are, they have your best interests. You know that.
Well, if you're just around enablers because they want a piece of the pie, I mean that makes the person feel good at the time, but like, bro, you just killed your longevity. Yeah. Because what you're about to do is you're about to listen to them because they make you feel good, and all the people that are keeping it 100 with you, you're about to cut off.
Yep. Absolutely.
And at some point,
because you don't want to hear that,
when this comes to an end and you can't feed these people, they're gonna burn you at the stake, and you can't see that at the time. But
no, you'll see it on the way down.
You will, before
it's too late to catch yourself.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be, woe is me. Yeah. But like I said, bro, it's such a gamble, bro. Yeah. And that's the only thing that sucks as a producer, because you're the behind the scenes guy, which, I mean, most people get into it, love it. I love it. But at the same time, it's when you're the behind the scenes guy, people tend to forget, or people tend to not see the value. But in reality, it's like, bro, if people realize producers, and I'm big on hyping up producers, because, I mean, I think there's a label, I could be wrong, I think it's Interscope. You can't sign to their label unless you're through a producer, because they know that producers make the hits. Yeah. So it's like, and that I think that's more of like a rap thing. I saw that
the painter of the painting.
Yeah, but like, people just forget. Like, I feel like big artists, and this is all my opinion, I think big artists, they either, there's some luck involved, they might have made the right moves, whatever, there's situations like that, but majority of the time it's, bro, they have access to the best engineers, they have access to the best producers, they have access to the best songwriters, right? They have best access to the media side. When you got that, bro, I mean, we can take a dude off the street, make him a star tomorrow. Yeah.
You have a whole team behind you that's riding, that's doing handling everything.
So I mean, people don't realize behind the scenes in the music, whether it's the business side, the dude that gets the money for you, helps you keep the money, the producer, the engineer, the person that's like, yo, you good, make sure you get to your events. Like, that's almost more important than the artist, because pull them out, put someone else in. Right. Like, I mean, bro, nowadays with the internet and stuff, anyone could be a star with the right stuff moving around them.
It's a strategic game that, like, many don't figure out the formula too. And it's like, if you can hack that, like we were talking before we started got rolling tonight, it was like loopholes to social media, and there's just like, so like, if you have people on your team that know that study that like, can get around that, it's like that can skyrocket a person, like you said, a dude off the street that doesn't know shit about it. He just has the right people around him that are going to progress his career even further. And
I'm big on, like, it's cool having someone that can do it all, but also it's like, I'm learning as the older I get and the longer I'm in this, like you need to niche down or focus on one thing. It's like if I was to work with artists, say I was in the position to like really push artists, like we want them just to focus on writing the best music and recording the best music. That's what they need to focus on. When they start doing 10 different things, that's when stuff starts getting hectic. It gets messed up, and only a few people are built for that stuff and have made it. Like it's been done, but bro, you need the producer to focus on producing. You need the engineer to focus on engineering. You need the artist to focus on being an artist. You need to focus. The manager needs to focus on being a manager.
Video needs
to focus on video.
Everybody plays a part.
Everyone plays their part, and they know their part well, and they play their part well, and everyone trusts them to play their part. It's a football team, bro. That's how I've
worked with artists before, and it's like they try to play too many parts, and then it leads to turmoil, and people start overstepping boundaries, stepping on each other's toes, and it doesn't work good.
Are micromanagers. A lot of people are control freaks, bro. And it sucks, but I mean that's what I've learned just being in music. Like I don't know. Like I said, I didn't start music till late. I've always played team sports coming up.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, if I'm a defensive end, I'm a defensive end. I'm not finna drop back and cover.
Yeah, you ain't gonna drop back cover 3.
The safety in the corner's got that. You know, maybe a linebacker.
Yeah, but your role.
I know my role.
You're covering where you need to cover.
When you're trying to play all these roles, bro, like. You ain't gonna win a game. I don't care if you're the 5-star recruit.
You might get the lead on the tackle, but then he's gonna cut back and be gone because you missed your spot. It's like
you're not playing your role.
It's all a mind thing too. It's a lot of overthinking. People overthink. It's like I gotta oversee everything, and it's like
it just ain't it.
Especially if you are paying people to have a team that you pay. It's like you pay these people to do that. Why don't you just let them run the gig?
If you're paying them.
Yeah, if you're not. If you're paying them what they're worth, too. Because, if you're not paying them what they're worth,
they'll go find their worth.
You're going to lose them. Yeah. They're going to find bigger opportunities are going to arise, and it's just going to be stupid for them not to take those. And
people just get full of themselves, bro, and they lose their perspective, bro. No, everyone changes. Everyone needs to change. You need to change weekly, daily for the advance. But
a lot don't, though.
At some point, morals have got to play a part, and that's when I come back to like the personality. It depends on the person, bro. Some different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, and it comes like you say that morals, and it's like everyone has their own. It's like okay, it boils down to morals. But when you say that, you're thinking, okay, my morals. What would I do in that sense?
Right.
But like, if they have shitty morals, then like they're gonna react shitty in this sense, and then you'll get underpaid, or they'll fuck you over in some way.
I'm big on. It might be screwing me, but. If you have shitty morals, you need to find other people with shitty morals.
Facts.
Like don't.
Because you're not gonna fuck over someone that has good morals and knows who they are.
Well, I feel like
they'll stand their ground.
That's why they say the music game is cutthroat, which it is. But it's just like it's because everyone's trying to change. People, but it's just like let people be people. Let people do what they're great at.
Sure.
If you're great at setting up shows, be great at setting up shows.
Yeah. Don't try to be the artist.
Yeah. Don't play your role. I'm big on play your role.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you're not playing the role that this person is trying to make you play and it's not your role, they try to create a scenario, flip the narrative. Yeah. That's what they do. They create scenarios and then they flip the narrative. And it's just like, bro, it's not proper, bro. And that's.
On to the next one.
Yeah, I'm big on to like, all right, let's on to the next one. It's like I approach beats, bro. Like if I make a beat, let's send it out, I'm on to the next one.
Yeah.
Or if an artist sends me a song, they're like, what do you think about it? I'm like, bro, it's great, but I've been engineering it for the last week. Like, I'm on to the next one, bro.
Sure.
Ask someone that has nothing to do with this.
Short-term memory.
Yeah.
It's kind of like playing sports. DB, get
next
burnt.
Play.
Yeah, next play,
bro.
Yeah, on to the next one. You can't
some people
dwell in that too much.
You gotta think some people didn't play sports.
Yeah, and that's where that comes into like, you know that you learn that at an early age. It's like people that they don't necessarily have that grasp on that. They don't understand that. So it's. I don't know. I credit sports to a lot of like
sports
mindset.
Especially that's why I think I like music so much because music, if you stand back from it, it is such a sport.
Yeah,
this is a sport. Like there's strategy to it. There's coaches. There's players.
Yeah,
there's staff.
A role for everybody to play.
For everything. So if you're not looking at it as a sport and you're just caught up in your own world, bro, you have an expiration date.
Yeah.
Until
might feel good in the moment, but it's your time's coming where it's going to expire.
And I mean.
Not to wish bad on anyone, but it's Facts.
It's just like, but those people can figure it out, but 9 times out of 10 they figure it out too late.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just one of them things.
It's the name of the game.
You're
figuring it out as you go.
It's the game, bro.
We've both been in it for a little bit. I've been about
a lot of mistakes,
6 years
a lot of
now.
wins.
Will was actually the whole reason I got into the creative industry in general.
That's crazy.
He was over at my parents' house probably 5. Well, no, it wasn't that long. It was like 3 years ago. He was in my bonus room, and he was like, I wasn't doing anything like big video related, not in the music industry at all. And you were like, bro, you gotta do it, and you gotta put your stuff out there. And after seeing all the stuff you just previously talked about, the 21 Savage tour, Billy Ray stuff, which we're about to get into, all of that, and I was just like, obviously same town, but one of the best friends growing up, like, lifelong friends. And I was like, okay, if he's doing this, like, I get it. You just have to go for it. I seen you like completely not giving up on everything else, but like pushing that to a side and just focusing on music. Like you touched on starting in college, but like when you started in high school, you turned your parents' tanning room or whatever into your studio, and like that was your senior year, my junior year, and that was like the coolest shit ever to me. I was like, okay, that's badass. But obviously then I was like, okay, what's he gonna do with it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he turned his tan.
We just listen to loud music in a room.
Yeah. But then like you just kept at it, and it's like we were talking about it out there. It's like repetition. It's like you just have to do reps.
It's like working out.
And as you do reps, not only does it build it in your own mind, and you get used to it, but other people start seeing it, and it's like, okay, this isn't just like a joke. Like they're actually doing this, and that's when it starts getting embedded in their mind. That was huge for me. Like just when I first started putting out videos, it was like, okay, what is this guy doing? But then it was like by the 10th, 15th, 20th, it was like, okay, he's like the video guy, and it's like, now that's all I'm known by. I think videos.
I think common people that have nothing to do with the creative world, they might not necessarily like your product. They might like your product, but my thing is everyone loves a consistent person.
Yeah.
So if people see you're consistent, it could be terrible work.
Yeah.
Like if you get on Instagram, there's probably some artists that I'm not the biggest fan of.
Yeah.
But they probably have some motion.
Yeah.
And it's because
they're doing the
they're
shit.
on it.
Yeah.
You can't escape them.
There's a dude that he does ice baths. He lives like somewhere out west where it's cold, in the wintertime, very cold.
Yeah.
And he did ice baths every day for 365 days. Grew from like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers all the way up to 400, 500K.
Exactly.
Literally just from sitting in an ice bath and just talking motivational stuff for like a minute or 2 minutes. And it's like, that's the most simplest thing. But he was consistent 100%. Every single day. You came to dude's page, you knew you was about to get an ice bath and motivation.
Right.
And it's like he did it in his backyard, whether it was snow, whatever, he just got in there and talked. It's like consistency no matter what you do. If you just show up, it's like you're gonna grow, it's gonna pay off. No matter what it is you're doing. You can pick up dog shit out in the courtyard.
Yeah.
And it's like if you do that and market it right and have the right vision, right people around you, maybe someone that has the idea to say, hey, post that on social media, start filming you picking up the dog poop. Like that might go viral if you mic yourself up, it's.
I also think, bro, with consistency, this is overlooked. Like people think you got to have it all figured out when you start something, but you don't realize until you start something. And anyone that's going crazy at something realize this, like you don't learn what you need to learn
until you're in it.
Yeah. And like you can't get those experiences unless you're cracking at the stone every single day.
Facts.
And everyone's on different timelines. Someone might get some motion in a week. Some people might get motion 10 years later.
Yeah.
Some people may never get motion.
Everyone's timeline is so different.
It's
so different. No matter if you're doing the exact same thing, no matter if you shoot video the same exact way, same camera, lens, location.
Yeah.
I could blow up tomorrow and you might not blow up 10 years or vice versa. And it's like, it's when you're meant to do it. And really, like myself, I feel like it's the universe's way of like testing if you really want it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some people, universe, God, whatever you believe in, whatever higher power, it's like, okay, they believe in it. they get it, you know, in a week from now, but I don't know if that person believes in it fully. So let's make them wait it out and see. And if not, then that's when a lot of people give up, and it's when they go, you know, work a normal 9-to-5 job. None wrong with that, but it's like, is that your dream? Did you give up, you know, your dream to land in that?
What's so crazy, bro, is like, yeah, trust your taste. You know what you like, but man, don't downplay anyone.
Yeah.
Because even just in my personal experience, there has been artists that like I necessarily was working on their music, but I necessarily did not like wasn't my vibe.
Yeah.
I'll work on it, you know, their client,
Sure.
and they get stuff popping.
Yeah.
So it's just like don't downplay nobody. Like
you never know when someone's about to blow up.
You never know, and it's going to be the person that you're just not thinking of.
You least expect it.
So if you're just an asshole out here, I don't know if I can say that, but if you're just a rude person out here, like, bro, what's the saying? Like, you can climb up the ladder, but if you're knocking people down on your way up, like I said, there's expiration date to everything. Yeah. So when you start to fall back down the rungs, them hands are gonna. Yeah. And you're just gonna keep on.
You burnt them bridges with those people.
Yeah, and you don't even realize you burnt them, because
no.
The thing is, when you start burning bridges like that, and you're just on fire burning bridges, you're actually burning bridges in rooms that your name is in that you don't even realize.
Sure. Because you burn one here, and they're in another room talking. It's like they're just throwing that gasoline on it, and you already kind of lit the flame. Like,
you're just breaking yourself of opportunities.
Yeah.
And it's not a healthy way to advance this. People do it, but it's not my. I rather this stuff take forever than
happen overnight.
Yeah, and you just don't know how to. There's
no
longevity to it, bro.
Yeah, I feel like that's a boat I'm kind of in. Like, been putting out content so consistently, and you know, I got a good following. You know, people follow me. They know, everybody that knows me or sees my work or whatever, sees my page, knows what I do off rip. Like, and that's taken time to build. The brand's not built overnight. Like, that idea started damn near when we had that conversation that night at my parents' house. But it's like, it's reps, and it's like, take it, like you said a minute ago, taking chances on people that, you know, in the moment might not seem like they got much motion. But like, for example, like Bailey Zimmerman, I met him in December of 2021. And I was working with an artist then, and, you know, he had motion, he had traction, and Bailey was like, you know, coming in the studio to work with him. And he was this young kid, just recently had a video blow up on TikTok, like his first one. Right. And then just to see where he's gone since then, like from that moment, 6 months after, like not now, but 6 months after that moment, he was, you know, just absolutely skyrocketing, just 500,000 on TikTok, and now he's opening up for Morgan Wallen, and, you know, on these world tours, and just absolutely crushing the game. And it's like, when I met him, you know, he was not that he was starstruck over the artist I was with, but he was just like, he was figuring it out, very happy to be there. And then it's just like 6 to 7, 8 months later, it's like he has his own wave. You know, people are starstruck over him, and it's like, I'm telling you, bro, a lot of people wouldn't have taken the chance on him then, just because didn't already have that traction behind his name. People jump on too late. It's just like with crypto market. People jump on a crypto when they hear the storm about it. It's too late. It's too late.
People already done made their money and got out.
Exactly.
100%, bro. But there's almost like, I don't know. I think it's so dope to see someone that's not necessarily not nothing, but someone that everyone's just kind of pushing off, and then just
they just come up and receive everything.
It's just dope, bro.
And in their mind, you know, they've probably been seeing that or hoping for that for a while. But it's like, the people that are fans early on with these, they don't really know the artist. They don't know the person that they are, what they've been through or anything.
The stuff moves so quick too, bro. It's like seeing artists, like, it just moves so quick, bro. Like, they have to change because their shit's changing, but
people judge artists a lot too for, like, you know, changing and becoming Hollywood or whatever. But it's like, you don't understand the pressure that these artists get into when they blow up like that, and they're touring across the country, and it's like they have all these obligations, all these faces looking at them.
That's when it comes down to character, bro.
Yeah, morals and
boundaries, morals, and characters. Yeah. And some people are great.
You really see
great at putting on a show. I'll say that. Some people are great to what the common folks see,
Yeah.
bro. And
but nobody sees that behind the scenes of what they're like, not on a stage. It's like it's night and
but
day
that's the game
for some. Yeah,
that's the game, bro. That's the game. That's the game we're in. So I mean, I can sit here and hate it, but at the same time, that's the game you're playing. So I mean, learn to love it.
Learn to love it. Learn to play
but,
the game.
But
you know,
you don't gotta be around it.
Yeah,
you don't gotta be around it. That's the great.
That's the beauty, and not working like full time for an artist. Like if you want out, you can get out and go work with the next person. Right. It's like if you do me wrong, you don't pay me what I deserve. You're kind of shady in this area. It's like, okay, well, I have a lot of other opportunities. I can make my money. It's like, okay, I can get out at any point. Not necessarily for you, you don't lock in full time with an artist just for them, but for me, like video,
right.
It makes it a lot different. Sometimes you sign contracts and get locked in with people, and then it's like, damn, you're in deep, and it's like, oh, how do I get out of this? But it's
the game
for me. Yeah, it's the game. Life is a game.
It is
as I get older and older, it's like
some people are better than others.
It's more and more like, I feel like life is a mixture of GTA and The Sims.
Yeah.
I was in the airport the other day coming back from New Orleans, and I was like, I was observant. I'm a super observant person. And I was like, every time I fly, I get more and more sure that there's just so many NPCs walking around, like, just like everywhere. Like, this one dude came up I was at Auntie Anne's getting some damn pretzel bites or whatever. This one dude came up like out of nowhere, no prior conversation, just started screaming, throwing his hands up. It reminded me so much of like The Sims back in the day, like playing.
Just emoting on you.
Yeah, like, just like, I don't know. That's a weird world we live in.
100%. And it's only getting weirder.
Yeah, it is. Technology is advancing, and AI. Bro, I'll have to link the video in. I don't know if you've seen it on my story, but the robot dog that was down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was.
They're gonna be delivering mail soon.
And it was like someone slid up on it and was like, they'll be shooting missiles out the back, and then I watched the video back. I'll show you after. I'll link it in. But there's 3 little like fucking spouts coming out the back of it, and I'm like, bro, that's a grenade launcher. It's right there. But like this thing was walking up steps and coming down. I was talking, and then it like looked up at me. I was like, no, I don't want.
It's just getting too advanced.
Elon Musk was behind a computer screen. But let's talk about some of the collabs that you've had. Obviously, we mentioned earlier you've worked with some pretty big artists. A couple years back, you had a song collab with Nashville native Young Buck and Billy Ray Cyrus, which is, everybody knows Billy Ray. So just touch on what it was like, working with Billy Ray Cyrus and what that day kind of entailed in the process of that.
Well, the story on that's so crazy because you can't find the song anywhere. Yeah. No, that's what's so crazy. So and
I hate that too because I try to tell people about it. I was just showing them, whatnot.
You can't find the song anywhere, and the story on it's pretty dope. Well, it sucks, but it's cool. I think it's cool. It's a good experience. It's just a music game, and so we were working with Young Buck.
Sums up everything we were just talking about.
Right,
for real.
Really. So we were working with Young Buck, and he'd booked some sessions at the studio. That was the barn that I was working at. So we were just working with him because he wanted a spot. Well, it turned into like we're working on a project.
Yeah.
And it was me, my mentor Killa, who's a phenomenal engineer.
Yeah.
Shout out Killa. And History, who's another producer there, and then John. And there's another producer, Trent. And we were all working on these records. And man, we put together a whole album. I still got the album. Getting ready to drop. Well, in the midst of us making this, Buck gets a call from Billy, like, "Yo, man, I'm trying to do a record." And this is right after Old Town Road done popped off.
Yeah,
he's like,
it was booming at that time.
Yeah, he's booming.
Yeah.
This is Billy's back.
Yeah,
and it was just so crazy. He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm trying to do a record. You're one of my favorite rappers. Yada yada." So like that, perfect timing. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we set up the session. It was around Christmas, and they were talking about doing a Christmas record. And so Billy set it up, came through, came alone, just him and his dog. It was the most. It was the chillest thing ever, bro. He was so cool, very genuine. Like
I remember you telling me this not long after. Didn't you say you pulled up in a Sprinter and then popped out the back?
Bro, it was like an old like van. Like it wasn't even like a full on like Sprinter. It was like an old like
conversion van,
travel van.
Yeah,
and he came with his dog, popped out, bro.
No security, no
security, bro, chilling. And he came in the studio. We played him the beats. He liked one. Went to record on it. Billy recorded his part. Buck recorded his part. We done filmed a whole music video to this.
Y'all
Put
did
this out. I'm like, bro, this is like, I'm on the song. I'm like, this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And
big break.
Big break.
Yeah.
Big break. Billy was talking about us working on a Post Malone song that he had the stems to, that him and Post have been working on. Like, it was just some opportunities.
Think about being in the room with Billy Ray Cyrus talking about, I got a song with Post Malone.
Yeah, he's like, I'd love for y'all to work on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is crazy.
Right, right.
Like at this point in my journey, bro, I'm like, maybe got $2 in my name. I'm working 16-hour days at the studio,
getting it out the mud.
Yeah. I mean, I'm eating damn near mustard sandwiches. Like all we had in the soup was like bread and condiments, bro. Like just to get through the day.
Right.
So I was like, man, this is crazy. It's about to be a big break. I was really excited about it. So the song comes out. I'm like, this is crazy. Buck's doing like a radio run. Well, we didn't know this at the time, but this was a time when Buck had all his internet stuff going on. You can look into it if you want. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. And so 50 Cent.
That's who he was signed to, right?
That's who he was signed to. Well, we didn't know at the time because he's supposed to get out of his contract. But I guess when they did a reunion tour, he had re-signed something. So he owed 50 whatever he owed him, you know? So when that song came out, boom, ceased and assist, like almost 2 days after it's out. And I'm just like,
it was on the radio and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I'm just like, dang. And it just wiped from existence. And after that, it was like we kind of lost contact with Billy.
Billy wasn't having it after that. He's too big time.
Yeah, and then it worked out, like it didn't work out with Buck. Stuff started falling apart with him. So we parted ways with him at the time. So now I'm back at the studio just like, dang. Like it happened all at once, and then I'm just back, and it was just like, all right, well, let me take my local session.
That's such like a rise of adrenaline. Like you're getting Young Buck, which is very well known artist, definitely here in Nashville. Billy Ray, which is Nashville legend, icon across the world, and all of that happened within a couple of weeks from recording to putting out, and then it's just gone.
It didn't work out.
It's like.
So it's like, do you add it to your resume? No, because it never came out. But you can. It's an experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So it sucked, bro. Because I was just like, dang, that was like not the only break, but I was like, this is dope. Like,
no, yeah, and it's like it's a huge break, and it's something that you can still use it. Like I did this. It wasn't your fault that
I got the song.
Yeah. I will play it for you. I remember the video. I'm sure that's still around somewhere.
I got like a whole project that we did. Like obviously
it was fire too.
It was fire. Obviously I would never put it out because there was a bunch of people that had hands in it.
Yeah.
And it was just like I listened to it every once in a while, but man.
I remember when y'all dropped that and like you were posting it and I was just
hype.
It's like, bro, we worked with Billy Ray.
That
was before we had that conversation and I was like, yeah, my boy Tempo, Will. I was like, he's on now. He's done made it.
But that's the music game, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It happens quick, but also cannot happen. So
yeah. If that wasn't your, big break, obviously it's different because it got taken down. It's not out there. You can't, vouch for it, whatever. If that wasn't your big break, what was, or do you think that you've seen that moment yet?
I think I've had a couple breakthroughs. I don't know. I wouldn't say I've had a big break that's just put me in a situation that I really want to be in. But like off of that situation, and just there's a lot of situations that put chips on my shoulders, Yeah. So I took that. I kind of ran at the studio a little bit, and then went and got my own studio.
Yeah.
I was like 20 at the time. Saved up money. Went and got my own studio. And
on Music Row here in Nashville.
And man, it was dope experience. Obviously did not know how to run a business. Just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It unfortunately didn't work out. But I was there for a year, got to experience that. and then moved on to another studio, which was called ABS, which they welcomed me with open arms, and it was a great experience there. And then I was doing it so long, I was like, man, I just don't want to be in the studio business anymore.
Yeah.
So after that, I kind of went solo, and I've been rocking ever since, and it's been cool, bro. It's been peaceful, getting work in.
Less stress.
I have more time to meet people.
Sure.
Less stress. More time to focus on my craft.
Yeah.
So I haven't had like the breakthrough. I've had like moments where I'm like,
right there,
there, scratching.
You
the
taste
surface.
it.
Yeah, I've tasted it.
Yeah, a bunch
plenty
of times. Yeah.
So I think that's what's kept me around. But like,
Sure.
no, I'm a patient person, bro. I think everything happens for a reason, and sometimes I think other people's good happenings is like I don't know, it's something for me to look at and experience, to maybe learn something from while they're going through it.
Sure.
Maybe I don't know, maybe there's something down the road that's
coming
I'm seeing someone else do that I'm learning from that's gonna benefit me in the future. But right now, bro, I'm working on music. I'm linking with people. Like I said, I'm new to the country world. I decided to get out of rap just because the lifestyle was it was getting old.
Yeah.
So now that I've turned the page to doing more country stuff, it's been cool, bro. I'm meeting a lot of new people, and some cool stuff is happening, and I got some cool songs coming out with some people, and yeah, bro, it's been cool.
Crushing the game. Has been since you've been in it. Man, I feel like that, like we said, tasting, getting a little bit of taste of it, getting opportunities here and there. It's like, and seeing other people do it, around you. It's like a lot of people will be envious of that, but you have to like celebrate those wins for those people, because if you're envious and that's the energy you're putting out, you're gonna get that back.
If you see someone doing something that you want to do, of course you're like, oh man. But also you can look at it like, man, if he can do it, like, man.
Sure.
And to me, it amps me up. It's like watching like a crazy football play. Like, it's dope.
That exact moment, and like, we're from the same area, grew up kind of the same. It's like, that's kind of how I looked at you, and I've told you this before, but telling it publicly on the podcast, like, I seen you doing it, and I was like, well, if he can do it, like, nothing against you. It's like, if he can do it, then why can't I? Yeah, it's like we grew up the same. We're the same person. Might as well be. You know what I mean?
100%, bro.
You just gotta put your foot down and just go forward.
It's a perspective thing, bro. Like, we're all human. Everyone gets in their ways about feeling certain things, but at the end of the day, the facts are what it is. And for people to grow in this and to get where they want to go, it's lock in. Like, bro, you just need to, if you want to do something in life, bro, or like something in this field, I'm a firm believer, man. Cut everything off. This is some crazy stuff. Cut everything off. Get in that dark room, bro.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have to post every day what you're doing. Like,
sure.
It doesn't matter what people know what you're doing every hour of the day. It's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And compound it. Because at some point, bro,
that compound interest.
And that's going off of like watching people do it. You learning, grinding, bro. Just
study the game.
Stay in it, bro. Stay in it, because it's like goes back to the conversation we're having earlier, bro. You don't know what's to happen, bro. Like take my situation. I didn't have barely any skills in music production. I had a little, but like it happens.
But no prior background.
To get some of the opportunities I've gotten so far,
and it's just showed up every single day.
It's just stay in it, bro. Stay in it, because you just don't know what your certain breakthrough, whether it's big, minor, whatever. It's just like, bro, stay in it, and keep meeting people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Consume,
grow your network every single. Bro. Yeah, that's where a lot of my opportunities have come from. A lot of tours that I've been on, and
get out of the studio and go meet people, bro.
Yep. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Who's going to be in the studio with you, and
you see them every day.
Yeah. Just get out, go meet random people. Like we said, beginning of the show, it was like, person next to you at the bar might be, the next biggest songwriter, and they might need a videographer for it, or they might need a producer or a mixer to cut this. It's just like, you just actually never know.
What was that thing that we were talking about like a few months ago? I brought up, it was like people were more apt to work with the person that's sitting next to them and give them opportunity than someone that's very good at what they do, but across too unaccessible.
Yeah.
Like, make yourself accessible.
Right. Yeah. You had said that, and I think we were talking about that. I was like, people that do something quietly might be on a bigger scale
Yeah.
than someone who does something super loud.
There's no, it's accessible.
And they show it out, and they're accessible, and they know who they're working with. They see everything, and it's like, okay, I see that. I want to work with that. And that goes with social media, putting your stuff out there, posting across the board, no matter what you do, whether you're a producer, video, chef.
You can be a comedian.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Just post the stuff.
All the same. It all operates the same.
Post stuff. I would ask you for my last question what your advice would be to someone seeking to be a producer or creative, but I think we just probably covered that topic there.
I'll go further on it, man. Like, if you want to be a music producer, bro, you can do it without any musical necessarily instrument. It helps and all that, but bro, you just need to get the materials you need, whether it's software or whatever, and just start picking it apart. The way I learned how to make music, and I continue, especially getting into a new genre, learn to remake your favorite songs. Load it up. Don't worry about making something brand new.
Yeah.
Learn to remake your favorite songs, because once you know how to remake your favorite songs, you know structuring, you know how I need to put the hook, how much instruments I need to put in it.
Yeah.
You know how to not overproduce, how to transition, stuff like that. I'm big. The way I've learned the fastest was, one, being in the studio, but two is like remaking my favorite songs. Once I started remaking my favorite songs,
what you're more passionate about.
You start to connect the dots, and then you put your own spin on stuff. So
lock
in. That's pretty much it. Is consistency, bro. Consistency. I'm still doing it. Like it don't stop. You don't just be consistent and make it. Yeah. And now you're chilling, mate.
And even when you make it, it's like you
actually
have to be consistent.
You have to
even
be
more
consistent.
Yeah, you have more responsibility, and it's like if you start lacking consistency, then, like you said,
there's a dude coming up.
There's a time limit on it. You know,
there's a 12-year-old out there watching it, going, "Oh, I can do that." Yeah. And he's about to turn up.
Yeah, and then that understands these social platforms and all these different hacks that they can do. That you, as a artist, you don't know that. You know how to make good music, but you don't know how to hack 500,000 views just by putting this hook here. It's like it's a crazy evolving world and market and industry.
Just name this episode Consistency.
Consistency. The Creatively Connected Podcast, Consistency, with Chris Rippey. It's a mouthful.
It's a fire. Triple C.
Where can the listeners follow you at on social media?
At Loud Tempo on everything.
Loud Tempo. You say Real Simpo?
Real Simpo.
Real Simpo with Loud Tempo with Chris Rippo. My guy.
Man, appreciate you having me,
I keep looking at the time. I'm like, I got to wrap it at some point.
Yeah. We'll have to do a part 2 sometime.
Yeah, we most definitely will do a part 2. If you're tired of using business cards, then you can head over to the link in the description and get your Popple business card. It's a digital card, attaches to the back of your phone. You can also get a normal kind of credit card type card as well. Tap any device. All of your links will pop up, your social media, contact info. Changes the game when you're out networking with people. I use mine all the time. It's 2024. You don't need paper business cards. That's kind of like very old school, and you don't want to be in the dinosaur age. So go to the link in the description. You can use the coupon code Chris Rippey. You get 20% off, and you'll just be a lot cooler when you're networking. So go get that. My boy Will Scannell, Loud Tempo, producer tag. I appreciate you joining us today.
You, bro. Yeah, it's been
we can keep talking forever, but we got to cut it off.
Definitely.
Camera batteries might die soon. Thank you guys for joining us today for episode 7 of the Creatively Connected Podcast. Make sure to go follow Will, follow myself. Stay tuned for episode 8 coming next week, and we will see you guys then.